I will say, as somebody who like saw the gameplay section, like that trailer they showed during the press conference that does include gameplay. It's not clear, but there are like snippets.
Yes, like a second clip each time.
Right.
Okay, so you guys have seen, all three of you have seen gameplay for Avengers?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I saw the presentation.
Okay, last time we talked about the game was the reveal. I was a little bit disappointed by the reveal in general. How is the actual gameplay in action?
I was disappointed by the actual gameplay.
Okay, where's everybody else stand?
Yeah, my thought on it is kind of like if if it was 10 years ago, it would be, or even maybe less, it would be considered probably a pretty good game, and you'd be thinking about it as like, oh, this is like, could this be the greatest, video game, movie adaptation, we've ever seen?
But not really movie adaptation.
But that was, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I'm saying like a property,
license thing.
Sure, licensed property, because considering some of the Iron Man stuff they've had before, but that, of course, is like
it
years ago.
feels
you know
like
what I'm saying?
Like in a pre-Spider-Man world, it would have been fine. But it honestly doesn't feel like a Arkham. Like I think Arkham is a superior looking game, not graphically, but like in terms of gameplay. Yeah.
So I talked to Matt Miller a little bit about it, and I was just trying to get a sense of like Iron Man. If you're Iron Man, can you fly around, or is it like Ultimate Alliance where you can kind of do a hover and that's about it?
There was a flying section, but because like the level they showed us on the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, it is literally just like a linear straight line. I don't know if like maybe in other levels you can do a lot more like Anthem style flying.
It's a very linear level, and like the fact that it's on the bridge makes it feel even more linear.
It's literally a corridor.
It's the most linear it can be. But you can hover as well, so there's a flying section.
But how does the section work? What's everybody else doing as your co-op?
Well, you're just playing as Iron Man. They're off like in other areas.
You'll be like a cutscene, it'll switch to you.
So that level they showed is not a co-op level, it's a single player level.
Yeah.
Oh, so it starts up single player and then it kind of grows in the 5 years later to co-op?
So here's the thing, I don't understand the structure of that game at all.
There is a single player campaign.
Yes.
That is just single player.
Really?
I don't know. Is that what what they said? Because I know they said we have a narrative campaign, but the game continues on from there.
Yeah, me and Ryder talked to the head of the studio after the demo we saw, and so he's like, there is a single player section. There, outside of that, there is also a multiplayer section. There are multiplayer levels, and like these levels can also be played single player. So like the messaging is fuzzy because like it sounds complicated. Yeah. But then like there's other, like you will be gaining loot and you will be leveling up and progressing, which is stuff they did not show yet. So I don't know how that stuff's going to work.
So a couple of weeks before the game was shown, there was a rumor on like 4chan or something like that we can now probably say is accurate because it didn't match up to what we saw in the demo. But it was saying like it's a Kingdom Hearts style world/level design with multiple large worlds versus one huge world map. There's no loot like you'd find in a typical looter shooter. Everything is mostly power based. And unless it's changed,
they said there's no loot?
That's what the leak said. But no, like you think like you wouldn't be finding different Iron Man thrusters, is what they were saying. And the main thing is, unless it's changed, Miss Marvel, Iron Man, and Hulk will make up the team build very early on in the game. And like
these are all rumors.
These are all rumors, yeah. But I feel like it matches up to what we saw. There's a narration at the very beginning of that presentation of a young girl talking about how the Avengers lived up to the hype, and the story doesn't end there. So I suspect that's probably Miss Marvel.
Oh, that's confusing. All right.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, I need to go save Elise. She's in the elevator. Do you guys want to just keep talking about what it's actually like to see this game?
It's falling apart, isn't it? Just like Avengers. Just like the Avengers fell apart in the game. I will say, as somebody who was maybe a little bit hotter on it than it seems like the average person, that I felt better after seeing the gameplay demo than I did from seeing the like trailers that they showed off in the press conferences.
I felt
Did you guys feel that way?
Yeah, I felt a little better, but I wouldn't say I was like over the moon excited. And maybe this sounds weird to say, but I almost wonder if, maybe with some of the co-op multiplayer and stuff like that, if that almost, even though it sounds like it's going to be a bit different from the game in some ways, maybe if that's maybe kind of more of a piece that is actually a little bit more exciting, because like we're talking about corridors and, sort of a pre-Spider-Man, a non-Spider-Man sort of game. It just, I think some of the stuff looks good. Some of the, it's getting you in the action and whatever. But, I kept on imagining as the demo was going on of like, they're not really talking about controls. I understand that, they're not going to tell you, oh, your right stick does this or necessarily all the time, but it's like, I have a feeling that's a pretty simple, just game to play. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be that fulfilling,
with the
second
caveat
hour
that
in.
everything they showed today was pre-alpha, or what they say is pre-alpha. Varies by developer what that means. But everything I saw, like the actual combat, it reminded me of Marvel Ultimate Alliance in a just behind the back perspective. And I'm not sure I dug that because when they were attacking enemies, I thought the Hulk section looked kind of fun. I thought the Black Widow section looked awful. Like legitimately bad.
The Black Widow section is largely a boss fight with Taskmaster, which
it's like QTEs and then
QTE first,
She does have like so part of what I was confused about was like she has a gun that she uses sometimes. It seems like there's some kind of like aiming section where she can like you do it's behind the shoulders like third person like shooter section, whereas like the Captain America section was like grappling, fighting, and then there was like a flying section with Iron Man. It almost felt like there were maybe too many elements to the game. It's like, because there's obviously the Avengers, every hero has a unique set of powers. So like to try to accommodate with that with gameplay is I would think, very challenging. So
also very confusing if you're going to add more heroes as time goes on.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so I think Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal has like a big task ahead of them to try to like encapsulate all that into one game.
But it also probably points to it being, it's going to be simplified. It's not going to be a game that...
you're not going to have Spider-Man's entire moveset or Batman.
Yeah, and this is only a small part of, what goes into enjoying an action game, but I just have a feeling on the sticks, it's just not going to be that interesting.
Which is part of my frustration with this demo they showed, because it was just a presentation. Yeah. I feel like if they let us get hands-on with it, then I could tell you right now, will that game be funner?
Yeah. So that was my comparison. Is I had also seen Final Fantasy VII today.
Yeah.
And that was a game where I was like a little bit nervous based on like what they showed. Where I was like, oh, that boss fight seems like it's really long, and I don't know how the gameplay feels. But then after I played the game, Final Fantasy, I was actually really excited about it. And I was like, oh, that boss fight actually doesn't feel like it takes as long to play when you're actually playing it, and it's actually pretty engaging the whole time. So I'm with you. Like, I wish we had gotten to play with it, because I think maybe if we do get to play Avengers, we might walk away a little bit more impressed with it. Like, well, at least we'll know how it feels, right?
Yeah.
Like, just looking at it, it kind of looked like it was pretty engaging. Like, the combat was fast. Like, it was visually interesting. There were a lot of explosions and stuff. Like, the impacts, I couldn't tell how those felt when you're actually
They didn't
playing
look great on video.
Yeah, like, I don't know what the combos are. I mean, there's these two power icons on the bottom of the screen that look like they're on cooldowns. So each hero has at least two powers they can use.
So when I had originally heard that game compared to Destiny, and when I saw those little combo or those power things down there, that's immediately what came to mind. Is I wonder if this is like those Destiny powers.
Yeah, and they could be.
Yeah,
I mean they're powers of a kind. I know Cap had his like shield throw charge, and what is it? Thor has like some kind of like whip his hammer around and like call down a lightning move.
Yeah. This is a petty complaint, and I will say ahead of time, I know no one else is going to feel the same way, but the fact that, because Taskmaster is the first character from one Marvel game to another, and since they've established this new brand of video games, right?
He's the first villain that overlaps between two games? Yeah.
I'm not counting Mula, which is its own weird thing. Okay. But I was disappointed it's not the same Taskmaster, because I was kind of hoping it would be like this Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of thing going between these games. And the fact that he's a different design, different voice, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of disappointing.
Well, I wonder how that would work, though, with because the Xbox version, right? And what is it that Insomniac owns?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really own it. It's all Marvel, but it's weird because it's licensed through Sony. So then what's the overlap between that and the Xbox version?
They've talked about it.
Have characters that were on the PlayStation version of Spider-Man?
I think it's weird for me because the last couple of months, especially with the Spider-Man comics going, they've been saying we're really wanting to push a Marvel game verse.
Right.
And I don't know what that means, and I still don't know what that means. And it's this is the first big test of it.
Right.
It apparently means nothing so far.
And we just had a Marvel Ultimate Alliance cover that me and Matt Miller did, and we asked them about that when we were doing that game's coverage. I'm like, is this part of the Gamerverse or whatever you're calling it? And they kind of basically said no. So whatever this Gamerverse is something larger that doesn't include Marvel Alliance. But that means that I think there is another thing that would belong to that, and the only other thing we know about is this Avengers game.
Yeah.
So my theory is that maybe they're connected, but it is weird because of the Sony thing.
Yeah, and it's like speaking of like fan servicey stuff. I don't like the designs of that game at all. I think Hulk is the only decent one, and that's because it's very difficult to mess up the Hulk.
He's a decent human, you're saying?
Yes, Bruce Banner is my hero.
I mean, they were even saying that the Hulk stuff is just like the most polished gameplay-wise. And it did look really visceral and fun. There's a scene where he like grabs two guys and he like bangs them
kills
together.
them. He straight up kills them. Because like a shockwave that like liquefy all the organs.
Yeah. Oh wait, they liquefied the organs?
I mean, they don't show it, but if there's a shockwave from him hitting them together, there's very few other ways that would work out unless they are also superpowered.
Now we're going down a wormhole here.
I mean, Hulk does straight up kill people in that demo.
Probably.
Right.
That was just a clip from the full episode of the Game Informer Show podcast from E3 2019. You can subscribe to the audio version of the show to listen to the full episode, including more episodes which are going to be coming up throughout the week. We're going to be coming live from E3 2019 on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, including developer roundtables and fun discussions about the games we've played. Thanks for watching, everybody.